I'm gonna tell you guys about the Meike fisheye again. How's it going, everybody? So a lot has changed since the last video I made about the Meike fisheye. I felt like I was basically the only skate filmer using it. Maybe there was someone else, but now there's two skate filmers using it. But this guy who I'm going to talk about, Sneep, Martin Sneep, he's using it in a pretty high profile way, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, now there's me and there's Sneep, but Sneep is like the official like Meike master. But I guess he told me in a DM that he started using it because of the first video that I made about the lens. That's pretty sweet. So since then, he made a video for Carhartt Work in Progress, and then just recently he made a video for Polar for their warehouse manager Robin DeWitt, and there is a guest board for him. One of those clips made it to the Quarter Snacks top 10. So it's like Meike lens is like, it's making it up there, man. Like, that's basically the news. Anyone who's unfamiliar. So this is the GH4 with the Meike lens on it. The Meike. For some reason, it's really hard for me to pronounce it. Like, I have an issue. So this lens costs $160. And as you can see, Sneep is stocked. He's stocked up with the Meike lenses. It has become his HD fisheye of choice. So if you're on the edge, right, you're thinking about like, should I get this setup, man? If you want to know, like, if anyone's using it, people are using it, right? And like, if you're thinking about taking it even more seriously, like, you know, beyond just filming with your friends, and you're like, could I film for a brand like with this lens? The answer is yes. The answer is technically yes. This lens is not the industry standard, but it has the potential to have a place in the industry because it already is. I mean, if you see Polar skateboards, Quarter Snacks top 10, they weren't like, sorry buddy, like, you know, this wasn't filmed on a Canon 8 to 15. Sorry. Just, you can take a second and think about that. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm just like, damn, like, this lens is coming up, you know what I mean? I think there's a couple issues. Like, you have to get really, really close, basically. You have to get, like I say, it's more VX than VX. You know, you have to get so uncomfortably close. But there's kind of like a benefit. You can get that close because the lens isn't sticking out like crazy and it's not as heavy, so you can actually, you can pull it back quicker, you know? Like, that's something. And I don't know, I think maybe this lens might potentially have a place in photography for that exact reason, you know? But I think your fingers can show up in the shot, so it's like you're gonna have to, like, for certain things, you're going to have to figure out different ways to hold the camera. It's like one of those things where people have to experiment. It's not like this tried and true method. When you have to experiment, you know, there's no set path. Like, you have to just try stuff and see if it works. And for me, for this lens, sometimes it's like you have to try something and see if it works, and then you have to see if it works for somebody else, you know? And see if someone else like makes the same discovery and runs with it. And like, that's kind of what I did with this, and what Sneep did. Basically, like, the writing is on the wall. Like, if you want to be like a really good filmer and have a Meike, like, you can be that person. You can do that. And so don't think that you're out of the game because you don't have a Canon 8 to 15 on like a full frame setup that costs you $5,000 to film skateboarding. I will say that, like, You are gonna have to film like pretty good in order to like get noticed, though. You know, it's not just gonna be like, oh, you got this setup where maybe the standard, you know, is a little slightly, you know, favors people who have the setup a little bit more, or if you have an extreme, like, you know, it's maybe people just want to film with you because you're down to film with that setup, and not, and like, you don't have to be like the best filmer. But I feel like with this setup, you like kind of have to film a little bit better, because if you, when you're in like those comfortable positions, you'll notice that you're just like, you're just not close enough. Like it's hard to be comfortable filming with this lens in the beginning, and you get used to it, and I think it really kind of pushes your understanding of a fisheye. But yeah, there's definitely some things that like you would have to overcome. But if you're just getting into filming, this might be a really good way to go, because this whole setup basically costs you $500, you know, and you could get it actually even for cheaper. Like you could get the GH2 or like any like old micro four thirds camera, like, and you could put the lens on this, and you got yourself a decent setup. You know, give yourself a mic, put a mic on there, do whatever you want. The Meike, yeah, it's come some places, man. It's not just the same old like random guy like on YouTube just like filming edits. Like now it's memory screen, man. You know, this guy, he's mixing it with the VX, like Pocket Skate Mac. They followed him. You know, this guy he had a Pocket followed, so that's like pretty serious business. That's when you see him stacked up. You see the Meike lenses stacked up. So I would say like, yeah, if you're on the edge, man, I would just say like go for it, dude. Like this is pretty low barrier to entry compared to like a Mark 1. This is even less expensive than an Opteka. Obviously, you know, you get the benefit of having a camera with a zoom or whatever, but just for your fisheye setup, the Meike lens is surprisingly professional. It has the potential to be professional, but it also has the potential to be just fun and educational. You learn how to get in there with the fisheye. This is how you learn, and then maybe you still end up going, you know, Canon, 8-15, Sony, whatever, once you've gotten comfortable on the Meike. I guess that's basically it. If you would like to support this channel, there is an even less expensive fisheye that you can buy and basically have it be just like the Meike, but it's on your phone. It's called the Travahando Fisheye Mini VX 1000 Mark 1 fisheye, and that's the one that you want. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, you could buy one of those fisheyes. Okay, it's yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.